Yo, what it do, y'all? It's the voice of the culture. You know where it's at today, man. The Hush Boutique, man. West New York, man. Imperial. Come on down. The home of the Get Fresh, the home of the Fly, and the home of expensive conversation. And that's what today is, an expensive conversation with my man. And the history goes back, man. But you know, life be lifing, but we reconnect, and here we are today. My brother I'm sitting next to, man, director, actor, writer, father, producer, hustler. But most importantly, man, he's a solid dude, man. I just want to welcome you to the Brown Table Podcast. King, thank you for coming out, man.
Absolutely.
My man, just for the culture, man, let the people know who you are, man. I don't think they really understand, man.
I'm Jay Parris. I've been in the game since about 96. You know, I did a lot of stuff. Law and Order, NYPD Blue, Burger King commercials, Sears commercials, Pujo commercials. I done produced films such as Zoo out of Newark by the Zoo Crew. What else I did? I did the movie Steps, Equal Standards, my man. The Queens did, which was a phenomenal movie. Rest in peace, my man Taheem. You know.
And the list goes on, man. First and foremost, my platform is out giving out flowers.
Appreciate you.
And I want to give you your flowers just for staying consistent, number one. Consistency is the key. You know what I'm saying? Even though you gained a family and the family grew, you still stayed consistent. Number two is, man, the fact of your longevity. You know what I mean? Some people come in the game and they in and out. They don't make it that long. They don't have that, you know what I mean? Some people, we already know the word, one-hit wonders. You see him here, next time, you missing. Nah, you stayed on track. You never put the ceiling on yourself, you know what I'm saying? And you allowed your craft to grow. So, man, salute to that, King, and thanks for sitting down with me today, man.
Nah, the honor's all mine, King. Word.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it all. How did it start for you? Because I'm curious to know that.
So, you know, after my teenage days, I went back to BK, you know, my roots or whatever, you know, but it was just like I started doing, you know, falling back into bad habits or whatever. And, you know, I just knew a couple of, you know, influential people, like a couple of females that was doing some things. But there was this one female, she was doing a lot of like modeling and stuff like that. And one day she came up to me and was like, she's like, yo, Jay, I'm just tired of hearing about your name. I don't want to come home. And then I come home to a funeral. So she's like, yo, why don't you try some modeling? So, you know, I'm laughing like, modeling? What you talking about? But then she came home, put together a fashion show, and I got a good response. I met some other females, and then homegirl Lisi, it was like, yo, why don't you come to this management company? And that's when I met with Diamonds in the Rough, my man Wise, and all these dudes. And from there, they was like, yo, it's a basketball movie. Could you play basketball? I played basketball, booked a role on a movie called Full Court Press.
Right.
That was my first movie.
Wow.
That actually put me into the union.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was with Tate Diggs, Hale Harper, Do It All, The Brat, Reverend Run when he just became a reverend.
I think I remember one of those movies. That movie too.
But you know what it is? It never got a chance to come out.
But it came out in Walmart and those places like that where you grab them movies up with the CDs era, DVD era. But listen, it's a door.
Yeah, but that actually got me in the door to be an actor, and I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I just was going with the flow. Whatever people was telling me, I was riding with it just to get out the street. So, you know, it worked out. It was a blessing in disguise.
Well, you say it was God's timing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everything is his timing.
Okay.
You know, he wanted me to do something different than what I was doing.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, it was more like, but it also you gotta remind yourself, you never know what other people are doing outside of what you don't see them doing.
Yeah, you know it's crazy because when I first went to T-Neck, I had changed my life because I went to T-Neck by default. You know, I did something I wasn't proud of. I had to go to T-Neck, lay low. But once the smoke was clear, I actually went and registered myself back in the high school. So everybody thinks that I've been at T-Neck for years. They think I'm from Nah, you know, I just did 1 year in T-Neck in high school, you know? And I guess my impact was like, you know.
I mean, I'm a co-sign that because I would have thought you was in T-Neck for years. You know what I'm saying?
I just did my one senior year, and it was
to be
crazy.
a 365, goddamn, champ.
Yeah, it was crazy because when I went to go sign myself into school, right? you know, I come from, they locked the doors, we had security, bars on the window. You go to high school, it's like going into jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you had to figure out clever ways to bring stuff in to protect yourself because
19
it was wild back in New York. No, I'm talking about New York.
That's what I'm saying,
So
but
when-
not in Teaneck.
But when I came to Teaneck and I saw the school, first thing I thought of was Beverly 90210. Remember that show?
yeah,
I was
yes.
like, yo, this is high school? And I remember the first day when I went to go register myself in the school, and I walked in, there was no security guards, no nothing. It was like a culture shock for me. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. So I had this guidance counselor. And I was like, yo, listen, I only need 1 credit to graduate. So I was like, I just want to enroll. I want to get my diploma. I said, I don't want to get a GED.
Right.
And she was like, well, she pulled up my transcript and she was like, well, based on your transcript, she's like, we seen kids like you come from New York all the time. She's like, we got the school called the Turtle Box. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
And
Right next to the library.
Yes.
That's where y'all went.
Yeah.
Come
so
on, man.
So she was like, you could go there and you could just take up the 1 or 2 classes, have the rest of the day to yourself. I was like, nah. I was like, first of all, this school named Turtle Box. I don't want to go there. I said, secondly, I want to get my diploma. You want me to get a GED.
That's what the Turtle Box is, alternative school in Teaneck.
I said, yo, listen to me. I said, I spent all these years in school. For me to get a diploma means everything to me. So she was like, well, if you go here, you're gonna have to take all these classes. Yo, man, she gave me 2 advanced English classes, 2 advanced math classes, but she was doing it because I didn't do what she wanted me to do.
You ain't
So
just
she
say,
made
fuck,
it
I'm gonna
hard
go to
for
the
me.
Turtle. Nah, I'm staying here.
Yeah, she
you went
made it
against the
hard
grade.
for me.
Right. She
So
wanted
was
you to
like,
quit.
You gotta take 1 through 8. You understand? So I'm like, all right, do it. So I remember at the time, Mr. March, which was the head basketball coach at
Okay.
Teaneck, he was my homeroom teacher. So when the first market period came, I didn't have my report card. So I'm like, everybody got their report card. I'm like, where's mine? So a knock on the door came. My guidance counselor came. I ain't gonna even say her name, you know what I'm saying? But she pulled me out the classroom and was like, yo, I just want to be the first one to present you with your report card because you made honor roll. So I looked at her like, thank you. And I took my report card and then I said, but no thank you. I said, because how many kids before me came, right? And they wanted to change their life and you steered them in the wrong direction. I said, I expected other people to do that, but not a woman that's the same as me. You're supposed to always want me to do better. But
especially coming from where you came from, and you
Yes.
putting that initiative to finish school.
Yes.
You don't get that every day.
But how many people before me come that's not as strong-minded and they fell for the okie doke?
Turtle Box.
So I was highly offended.
Right.
So I just took my report card and I just went back in the classroom because I'm like, nah, we supposed to be sticking together. You supposed to want me to be all I can be.
And what year is this?
This was 94.
See what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is 1994. This is taking place.
Yes.
And we're not bashing anybody, but we just talking the simple fact of the reality of what my man went through. Because the Turtle Box was basically an easy way out.
Yes. Yes.
And you could have did that.
But for what though? What I proved? You understand? I came out here, I got a blessing, right?
That's
Because I
number
dodged
one.
a bullet when I was back home. So for me to go and register back in school, it was like a second chance for me. So I was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna take this and I made a promise to my family I was gonna do better. And that's what I went to do.
And you did it yourself, though. That was the difference. You know what I mean? You didn't go in there with the family. You did it yourself. And having that strong mentality where you came from allowed you to tell that woman no.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's the gift and the curse of certain situations. Yo, I came from here. You gonna tell me no here? And I'm trying to, you gonna really, we not doing that.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
You know,
so that's another blessing in disguise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming where you come from gives you that. We not just settling.
Nah, can't. You can't, man, because at the end of the day, I always been my own man. I did what I want to do and I moved to my own heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't let somebody tell me what they want me to do. I got to do what I felt was good for me.
And you graduated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you walked the stage.
Top half of my class.
Come on, man.
And it was so crazy because for me, it was more like I'm used to the gunshots and the fights and you know, when I went to Teaneck, it was different. It was quiet. You know, you can go outside, read a book. Like, you know, you ain't had no, like, yo, dude, it's like, I swear to you, it was like, I was like, yo, this don't really exist coming from where I come from. You understand?
Right.
So I was like, so why would I be anything outside of what I'm supposed to be? I was able to calm down. I ain't go to Teaneck and became wild. I wasn't doing none of that.
Bring all that ignorant shit to Teaneck and try to start this fake
man,
crew.
I was on my pretty boy stuff. I ain't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? That also shows the type of person you are, though. It shows character. That's number one, character. Because it could have just been like, you know what? I'm gonna just take the easy way out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sit in this class for 2 hours and have the rest of my day and go get. See, you knew that leisure time was gonna be bad time for you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you say, nah, let's go through the whole course. I commend you for that. At a teenager, though. Let's be clear, y'all. It's not no college. This is a teenager.
Well, I was a super teenager because I think because I've been expelled. Like, man, I ain't gonna even tell you how many times I've been expelled from school. But I was a super senior. I think I was 20 going on 21 when I graduated.
Listen.
Yeah, but I did it though, and I ain't care.
Listen, man. A lot of people, listen, it could have went two ways. You could have took that 20-year-old pride, I'm not going in here with them and look like this old head, and I'm gonna go sit in the turtle box and knock this thing out. That's what I'm saying. Once again, it goes with your character, King. You know what I'm saying? You knew what you wanted to do and you didn't care what came with it, man. I salute you for that, man. So after you leave Teaneck, man, you back in BK, like what was the emotion on that? Because we was running around a little bit. We see each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was back and forth Jersey.
Okay.
So I actually lived in Jersey, but I was back and forth in New York every day. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the saying, you know, you never shit where you eat at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I started, you know, getting into stuff here and there. But then once I got the opportunity to do the joint, I did that. And then I just was messing around with the girls and I started doing like foot action ads and all kinds of different little things, messing with Diamond in the Rough. And
Were they your management?
yeah, they was my management.
Okay.
So we actually did Varsity. We did what else we did? Willie Esco. We was doing a lot of stuff, modeling wise.
Especially back then in that era, you had so many different brands, and it wasn't like it is now. We, you know, me and my man right now, we from the old school. Like, let's just be clear. It wasn't no social. It was street teams.
Yes.
Hitting the streets, going to these different events every night, handing out these flyers with you on it, talking about, yo, these are Willie Esco, but it's you on it. Like, it was more direct consumer in your era. So you definitely stayed busy because it was moving.
And you know, for me, I never really thought that was a vision for me. But the way the father was laying out the map for me, it was just so easy, you know? And so I was able to, I ain't gonna lie, I was able to accomplish a lot. And I guess it made me want to do more. But what I didn't like, and I guess what kept me going in and out the industry was I didn't like the politics.
That was my next couple of questions to you. You know what I'm saying? It looked good. Everything we see you, you know what I mean? We see the flyers, we see you here and there, but it's like we don't know the ugly side of that business.
So my thing was everybody wanted to party at night. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew that, King.
So for me, I feel like if you want to do business with me, you invite me to your establishment during business hours. Nah, that's not how the industry was. It was full of drugs and all kinds of weird stuff that I couldn't, my soul and my conscience wouldn't allow me to accept. So
and you just modeling.
Yeah, but remember I was modeling, but then I started getting into the acting too.
Yeah.
So with all of it is all one and the same.
Facts.
What people don't really realize, you know. And I just didn't like the politics, bro. I didn't like the weird stuff. I didn't like the drugs. I didn't like all of the stuff that, you know, they made it seem like you had to do to be accepted. So for me, it was just like I was bouncing in and out. You know, I hated 1 minute, and then another opportunity come, then I'll go back in, and then I'll get back out. You know, and then I was also signed to. So I was signed to Wilhelmina Management. I went from Diamonds in the Rough. I was still with them, but then I went to Wilhelmina.
How long you did with Diamonds in the Rough?
Oh, a couple of years I was with them. But then I went to Wilhelmina, and then that's when I was doing more like commercial stuff like that, and then I was going out for movie roles, and then I went to Carson and Atla, and then I was with Shirley Faison. So through all those things is when I had all these auditions, and you know I was doing stuff. So You know, I've been around for a minute.
Nah, you ain't been around. You put your foot in the game. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. We talking about an individual coming from BK. None of this is laid out. None of this is a plan. It's survival. I get an opportunity, and I'm just doing a small rough draft. I get an opportunity. I go to TNAC. I'm able to relax, clear my head out. I'm 20. Now I'm on to my next move. But then I'll bump into something else. Now I say all this to say what? You still kind of living that life because that life is still attached to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I was going in and out.
Right. You
But
still a part of that.
It was good because it was the me evolving, like leaving something permanently for something else.
Right.
You understand? But it was choppy along the way, but I understood the assignment. The only thing with the acting thing is that I could have taken it way further, but because I didn't like the energy that it was bringing towards me, it made me fall back, and then the father will present another opportunity, and then I jump back in.
Right.
You know, and I always said it. I was like, you know, if I would have stuck with it and ran hard, I probably would have done a lot more. But because my life, and then I was dealing with regular everyday life, you know, started having kids, you know what I'm saying, had a family, and then, you know, life be lifing, you know, so then I, you know, after that, I didn't really want to deal with the industry, so I started dealing with the independent side of it, where like people will come in and say they trying to do something, and if I like it, I'd be like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna do your film. You understand? I'll come on and I'll produce on it, I'll act in it, and then I'll help you get other actors and stuff like that. So for me, it was better that way because
you in control.
I'm in control, but the thing about it is that I'm giving back. And see, what people don't understand, right? When you do so much to damage your community, it's like I'm repenting every day. So the more and more I help people, I'm praying that I'm forgiven for the sins that I have bestowed since I was a kid. You know, when we young and dumb, we don't know no better. But as you get older, right, you're supposed to know better and do better.
Right.
So my mind is like, it's like a one-way track now where I do whatever I can to bless other people because of the damage that I've done in my past.
But your past also is not your future.
Facts.
So you know what I mean? That's one thing, and you realize that. You know, what's dope is how you stayed in the game long enough to be able to pivot to know how to move when on the independent side.
Facts.
Because honestly, up and coming brother, listen, I know and I see what you were doing, each one teach one. You just pulling more brothers into the game. But the thing about it makes it so fire, you also learn from the game. You started now, you ain't just an actor. I'm getting behind the scenes. Now let me ask you this, man. How was that, getting behind the scenes, as far as being in front of the camera?
So it's crazy, and I'm gonna give my brother Lays from MOP, he's the executive producer at MOP, Billy, you know what I'm saying, Little Fame, those are my guys, you know what I'm saying? So once again, it was my brother, you know, he came to me one day, was like, yo, look, we start a new campaign for MOP, like I want you to, I see the visuals that you've been putting out, I want you to start directing the videos. So I says, yo, Will, I never did the video director before, but I said, I got you though. He's like, nah, I want you to do it. You understand? So him taking to believe in me with his team, you know what I'm saying? I had to figure this out. So I went to my homeboy, Mo Shines, and that's my partner. I love him to death. He out of ATL doing big things now.
Yes, he is.
So I came to Mo Shines because he was doing stuff with K Slate. So I said, yo, listen, bro. I said, my brother, he wants me to direct the music videos, but here's what I want to do. Because I don't know the structure of it.
Right.
I'm gonna co-direct it with you, so you can make sure that you get a director's credit as well as me.
Right.
Right. And you know, I'm
you're
showing
learning.
you your worth.
And you're learning.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So we piggybacked off of each other. So he was just making sure everything was done right, teaching me the way. And I say, listen, I could have just hired him as a DP. You know what I mean? And took the director's credit by myself. But I said, why would I do that? I'm bringing my brothers up with me.
Yes, you are.
You understand? And that's how I learned. But that's even in my life. I've been that way my whole life. Like if I had a team, we all eat together. You understand?
Right.
It's not, I don't ever want to be the elephant in the room.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't understand that.
Because that's selfish. That's a selfish part of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that. You know, I always look at it like this, even when we go to the clubs, right? If we all getting money, right? I don't gotta take care of your family, right? But if I'm the only one getting money, then everybody around me, I gotta take care of their tribes. But if I put you in a position to be your own king in your own kingdom, right? That's one less person that I gotta take care of.
Makes sense.
So if I'm in a room amongst kings, my life is better. Because you control your own destiny, I control my destiny, they control their destiny, right? And we all grow together. People don't understand that logic.
I think they do, but you know what the problem is? They never had nothing, so
That's
they cherish
true,
it
too.
all. You know what I'm saying? I remember a brother told me right before I went to prison, he said, yo, listen, my man, what you don't give a fuck about, somebody in prison cherish, bro. Always keep that in mind when you about to do this bid. And yo, honestly, that was the first time I ever heard that, but I also realized that outside of the prison. Like, yo, it's like, nah, that's what you love, yo, I'm with you, yo, I'm loving it with you. Because you may not have had the success that I had. And success is not always a dollar bill. There's people gotta understand that.
Right. That's what people because they live for the wrong reasons, right? If you living for money, you're gonna fall for anything, right? But if you're a man of morals and principle, you stand for everything. So you can't be tricked. And that's a lot of people don't understand. You can't trick me because you could put money in my face all day, it don't mean nothing to me. You know, my honor, my respect, and my dignity means everything to me. And you can't take that from me. You understand? So at the end of the day, I'm never gonna fall for none of the shenanigans that you try to bestow upon me.
Even if it is gonna take me a little bit longer to get to the finish line, I'm cool with that. Because a lot of y'all cats is just doing anything just to not even get your worth. You just wanna get something.
But look, right? So I have this thing with me, right? When I do my journey through the years, right? I always say I would never play a gay person because I don't know what it is to be gay.
Right.
So how can I convince a gay man that I'm gay? You understand? And that's what they said acting is. I don't knock nobody that does do it, but I would be so uncomfortable that I wouldn't do that character justice. So why would I take it on? I don't believe in raping women and children. You understand? So I would never take those type of roles.
Right.
Because I can't identify with those roles. So people be like, yo, so why you shoot people in movies, right? So I try to tell them it's like the gift and the curse, right? I learned as growing up in a kid how to survive, right? So I had to do certain things that I wasn't proud of. So now the gift is
To play this part.
But why? Because
That's
because
go ahead, I'm letting you talk.
my audience, that's what they cling on to. So now when they meet me in real life, right? And they like, yo, son, you bust that kid, da, 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 da. And then I could plant the seed to give them the gems to be bigger than that. And don't glorify me for that. You understand? Glorify me for what I'm about to teach you now. And that's how to be successful. So
you planted this, you know what you did, bro? You planted a seed in concrete and waited till it grow.
yeah, well, I didn't do it. The Father did it. You understand?
He planted that seed in that concrete,
just
in
used
that
me
jungle.
He's used me as a vessel. Because
Right.
look,
That's
right?
some fly shit. Damn,
Because
King, that's fly.
check it out, right? Even when we went to school, I know everybody had a career day, right? Where you used to have somebody come in and they was a fireman, might be a lawyer, they might have been something, right? But to us, they never looked like us, right? So we in there like, I can't identify
with that.
How could I be a lawyer? We don't identify with each other, right? So I wouldn't be interested in nothing you had to say because I can't identify. But now, in this acting thing, right? I look like them. I act like them.
You're really not acting. Let's just be clear.
Right. But you know what? What I've learned is I says, all right, how could I do this and save my brothers and sisters, the ones that I destroyed?
Okay.
Right? So I says, I'm gonna play these roles because their first initial contact with me is they're glorifying the bullshit that I did. But now I could turn around because I got their attention now. So I said, yo, look, that was a dope movie, right? But here's what I'm really about now. You understand? And this is what we should be trying to do as a people. So now even dudes that I was on the streets with, they be coming to me like, yo, son, yo, we used to do this and this is that and the third, why we can't? So I changed they mindset. So now they want to do what I'm doing. They don't want to be on the street corner. They don't want to be banging. They don't want to do none of those things. But why? Because they looked at me
something new.
And I became their reality.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people don't get. So when they say, oh, you doing this? I said, I do it with a motive behind it. Because I'm trying to get those negative people. And now I got their ear and I got a voice.
And they gonna listen.
Exactly.
You know what's funny, man, about what you just said, though? Everybody asks me, yo, who you gonna have on the show? And that's how, the only way I can really let them know who I was gonna have.
And that's what they remember, right?
That's why I said, when you said what you said, I used to say I was bugging in the seat, because that's the only way I could really tell them who you were.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh.
And it's so crazy.
But it's crazy that you said that, because you understood that though, King.
Look, and I'm gonna mess your head up a
genius
little
shit
bit, right?
there, on some real shit. That's
So
some
look,
genius shit, bro.
So even when we was doing Belly, right? You had Stan Spit, you know what I'm saying? TD, Swiss Beats Pops was his manager, agent. He was rapping. I already knew Son was nice, so I said, yo, he gonna be somebody. Then you had DMX. We already know they had him as the next Tupac. You understand? So now it's me. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew where I came from except for my community, right? So now, even in the restaurant scene, I had to figure out how I could make people remember me, because I knew they were gonna be remembered because they was already in the industry, right? So I come up with a son. I seen how shook when them niggas showed up. Nigga, you scared like a bitch. I started the stuttering shit.
And that wasn't even in.
It wasn't in the script. You understand? But I knew that I had to do something to steal a scene.
That was your moment, bro.
So
it's crazy how you really fucking understood that assignment for yourself, though.
Think about it.
Instead of just saying, I'm happy to be here. You was like, nah, I'm gonna make sure this shit gonna live on forever.
Listen, I was excited, but at the end of the day, I'm always a mastermind. I'm always trying to capitalize off of every situation that's bestowed upon me.
Man, you did a lot of shit, but you were always, you know what I'm saying?
And I think that was probably one of the only roles that I took serious back then. Everything else I did because I was just doing it.
Right.
But that was something that I was excited about. You understand?
Can I, not to cut you off, but can I ask you something about that? How did that opportunity present itself to you, bro?
So when I got into SAG, right? I was talking to these girls. They was like, yo, you could do background work. So they was like, yo, you can make money in doing this and this and that and third. But the reason why I even did the work was because after I paid to get into the union, 6 months later, they hit me with another bill. And I just paid them all this money to get into the union. And I'm like, yo, I just paid y'all money. They said, you part of a union now. So you got to pay a percentage of all your earnings.
And what union is this for the culture that don't know? Okay.
SAG, Screen Actors Guild.
Thank you.
Right? So now, I'm like, I'm not going to be paying y'all money and not making nothing from it. That's just what, it don't register to me that way. So I was talking to some of the girls. They was like, oh, we got Grant Wolfley. You could come here and you can do this work. And so they started teaching me. So I started working with Grant Wolfley. Grant Wolfley was a casting agency. And then I did Brown Sugar. I did The Best Man. So what ended up happening was when I started working on those sets, they ended up having me take Dig standing for Brown Sugar. And then I was a stand-in/cousin on The Best Man. So I was making money, and then I was learning about the business at the same time while I was auditioning for different roles and losing different roles and doing different things, but I was still learning. You understand? So I just I was on He Got Game.
Okay.
And at the time, I had a couple of different cars or whatever. But I always used to be like, try to be low key with it because I didn't want nobody to really look at my lifestyle.
Right.
Anyway, I had this particular car and I had it on set. And when they saw the car and they saw me come out of background, right, they started going crazy because it's like, how's this dude doing background work but has this type of car? So I brought attention to myself. But I brought negative attention because the PA ended up getting me kicked off the set. She said that she said that I had a bad attitude and I thought I was bigger than everybody else, which wasn't the truth because I used to sit in the corner and just chill and I took time out to read, and stuff like that. But she was like, yo, listen, she called me back. She's like, I got more work for you, don't worry about it. So she called me back a month later and was like, listen, I'm not trying to say that I don't know what you do on your past time or whatever, but there's this movie that's coming out and they looking for real authentic people. And she's like, you fit the bill. She's like, I'm not trying to say you drugs, you sell, you hustle, whatever, but she said, you fit the bill. So my lifestyle is what got me into Belly, which people don't understand.
I
Understand?
do. I'm very clear on how.
Right. So I went, when she sent me the script, I was like, this is not, we all had the audition for Buns. I'm like, look at the script, I'm like, this is not acting. You understand? So I'm like, oh, this is easy. So then that's when I went for the auditions and I kept getting called back until I
How many
finally landed
auditions
the
you went to
role.
get that before that thing was
I
locked?
think it was probably like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And it went like the first ones was fast, but then it like died for like I think maybe a month or 2. And then I got a call back again. And I was originally supposed to play Wise. Yes. And when we went to rehearsals, I remember we was going over the thing and DMX talked to Hype and they left and then they came back and then they was like, yo, you try LaKid, talking about me.
Right.
And that's how the roles had ended up getting reversed. So I was originally supposed to get shot.
Yeah.
You understand?
But you see how the father works.
Yeah.
We don't need you getting like you gotta understand what we dealing with, y'all.
I mean, but listen, at the end of the day, it ain't stopped my man career because
Nah,
my man career still did his thing.
Nah,
you know
not
what
at
I'm
all.
saying?
But we saying, but for you,
Yes.
your mission, his plan was for that's not in the playbook.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason, man. And congratulations on that, man. Because honestly speaking, man, to see one of us, and I say that with respect because, listen, we hung out, we had our moment.
Yes.
Sit back and see my bro.
Yes. Facts.
Especially back then at that time.
Absolutely.
It was not knocking anything out. That to you to be sitting with a legend, you sat with Nas, X, those other great actors that was on the set, Hype Williams, a legendary classic movie that's gonna go down and it's like, come on. To be a part of that at that moment, that time, and to have that significant role, to have that kind of be like, yo, I'm gonna save the culture with that. It's a blessing, King.
Man, I want to give my man Power a shout out. He just passed away from cancer
Mr. Power, man.
not too long ago. And I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. So I had one of my other childhood friends. We wasn't talking for a while. Neil Diners, I'll say your name, boy. He had reached out to me. We wasn't talking, and he was like, "Yo, we got to get back together. This is that and the third." So I was like, "All right, no problem. We cool." So then he had called me a week later. He's like, "Yo, I'm doing this event down in the Village." He's like, "Your man Power gonna be there," and I haven't seen Power in years. Now, even with Power got me into a couple of other movies, like After Belly. Like we did other movies together. We did Coalition together, and we did When Will I Be Loved with the chick from Scream, Nev Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was in that one. So but then we lost contact. And so I was like, yo, you know what? He called me, he's like, yo, we doing an event, you should come out. And I went out to go see him, bro. And he told me he had stage 4 cancer, bro. And we hugged, like when he saw me, we hugged. He was like, yo, you gotta call me. And my biggest regret is not calling him because not even think it was like 2 weeks later he passed away. But I was like, you see how the Father works? The Father brought us back together. You understand what I'm saying? Before
Before.
he made his exit,
Yeah.
you know, because we were really, really, really tight. You know what I'm saying? We ain't see each other every day, but when we talked, it was like brothers.
You know what's crazy about your story, man, is that for those that don't really know you would think it was a whole nother fucking journey.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's why, you know what I mean, it was so important for me to bring you up in here to
appreciate
talk to you because I knew, I didn't know the journey. Let's be clear, y'all. But I knew you, and I just was like, yo, man, it's only right. I gotta reach out. And he's probably not gonna remember because yo, life be lifing and history be history. But once we saw you, like you said, it was what it was, and that's why you here, brother. Because I didn't know how powerful, but I just was always like, yo, my man, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna hold you. And shout out to these young ladies, the Pretty Girls podcast. That's when I saw that. I seen it. Yo,
Nick.
oh, that's
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah.
That's what brought me. Yo, I gotta holler at my man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
shout out to them doing their thing. That was a dope episode. I watched it. Salute to them.
You know, it's funny.
They
'cause
brought you out of the closet. Man.
Listen, she did, because Nick was like, yo, I'm doing my podcast, and you better come up there. I was like, yo, come on. You know I was like, you home team. I was like, you know I have to do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And she had a homegirl that was from Teaneck and Inglewood, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you know what? And she was like, yo, you like my set? I was like, come on, man. You always do it right. I didn't expect nothing less from you. So I'm proud of Pretty Girls Gang. They definitely doing their thing.
Yo, shout out to them. And like I said, man, when I saw it, man, I watched the episode.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't hear my story. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, they kind of brought you back, champ.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be clear. If I didn't see that, bro, we wasn't following each other.
Right.
At the
That's a
time, we
fact.
didn't, you know what I mean? We didn't, our mutual brothers gone.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
That, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to T.O. let everybody
Yes.
know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I saw it, it was immediate. I said, yo, I gotta hit my man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, yo, that's dope what he's doing. It's good to see him. He looking good, he's shining, he glowing. He still got that same aura about himself that we had when we was growing up. So it's like, yo, we'll be men now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Men.
with kids, families.
Yes.
Me, I'm a grandfather too. You know
Me
what I'm saying?
too. I just became a grandfather
Yes,
January.
I just saw that.
Yes.
So I forgot.
My
So
first granddaughter.
that's what I'm saying. And to sit here now with you, talk to you face to face, you in a great spirit. You got great energy with you.
Appreciate it.
Yo, you know, you're not everywhere. Cause you know, sometimes life be life and then we get lost. Cause it happens to all of us. When I say lost, I don't mean lost. I mean lost mentally.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear, y'all. All of us get in that moment and we sit back. It's okay to regroup. This is what you should call right here longevity. Sitting next to me in the hush. This is longevity. This is consistency, man. This is putting in the work, understanding who you are, but not selling yourself short and always keeping God first.
Facts.
My man,
Facts.
2026 for you, man.
Facts.
Well, let's talk about how we gonna close this thing out, man? Because I know you always cooking, man. And shout out to your man, clothing line too, man.
Yeah, my man, the Wild Bunch.
Shout out to the Wild Bunch, man.
Group of dudes out of Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, he's about to put his movie together. You know what I'm saying? I told my guy, I said, yo, I gotta show you some love. We're gonna do some good business together.
Man.
So guess what? So when he get his stuff together, we're gonna bring him on the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One hand washes another. We're gonna keep this like a revolving door.
As we should,
Family
man.
gotta take care of family.
As we should. And shout out to the outfit, man. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you.
Shout out to that, man.
Yeah.
My man, feel free, send whatever you want to send. This is what we do here.
That's a fact. But for 2026, you know, moving forward, 2027, I always tell a lot of these independent directors and actors and stuff, listen, I'm just an inbox away. You know what I'm saying? If you got something and you need some help with it, as long as it's good material, I offer my assistance the best of my ability. I don't care about the Tyler Perrys and them. They do their thing, that's good. But for me, it's about giving these younger generation a chance to get access to somebody that they wouldn't be able to get access to every day. To start their journey.
It's like somebody started your journey.
Facts.
You running with the chicks. They saw something in you.
The gift that keep giving.
Man, that's crazy, man. I wanna touch bases with you and hear your opinion on how you feel about these new networks like the Tubies and these small networks that's giving the black independent films. Like, what's your take on that, man? You know what I mean? The Zeus is like, I want to touch, because that's, you know, that lane. So what's your personal take on it, man?
My personal take on it, it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Okay.
I love that we as black people get to be creative and share our thoughts and our visions with the world on all different platforms.
Right.
Because now you don't have to go to NBC, you don't have to go to CBS, right? You can go to all these independent networks and you can get product out there. The only thing that I don't like about it is that they still exploit us, meaning that they don't pay us for our worth. So I just wish that us as a people know our worth and demand a little bit more for our material.
And not just be happy to say we made it.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So you can say, oh, I got 10 Tubi movies on Tubi, but you're not making no money. And what they doing is, and this is the realization of it all, is they taking your thing and they're making all the money and they're kind of like hiding it in the books. So when they say, oh, you'll get a percentage of what you've done and we have people that track it, it's hard to do that, bro. You understand? Unless you have your own personal network and you're able to push the masses there, it's always gonna be hard. But you know, what I would say is if you start off on those platforms, try to get bigger. Once you got the material, move away from them. You know, try to go to the bigger networks.
Okay. Use it as a stepping stone. Don't get comfortable.
It's
there.
building a resume. You know how they always say you got to be an intern, right, before you be an employee.
Right.
You know, or before you become a boss, right? You got to be a student.
I'll give you this for free, but I'm gonna use this opportunity to elevate it so I can start getting to what I.
And now you got something tangible. So you got material. It's not just on paper anymore. Now it's a visual. So you can take that and you can expand on it and go and shop and get better situations for yourself.
Right.
And that's what I tell any independent black director is that you have to go to the next level. Don't let this, you get here, you go from here to here, and you let it be that. You gotta go here, here, here. You gotta keep elevating.
But isn't that all depending on the individual? Like some people cool with just the basic, and some people don't. Some people don't. The ceiling is endless for me.
Yeah,
like,
but
you know what I mean? You gotta have a mentality too, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem with that is that the people that are trying to elevate can't elevate because there's so much of this product, right? that they're gonna stay. Why would we pay for product that's here when we can go here and we can manipulate them, and we can do 100 of these, right? And we don't have to pay you for what's up there. And that's the problem.
So is that the new music game?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They just put it on TV now.
It's all one and the same.
It is.
So you imagine if you spent, just say for instance, you spent $100,000 to make your film, right? They probably wouldn't even give you $100,000 for your film. They'll say, we'll give you $50,000, but you got to sign over the rights and this is that, and then you'll get a percentage of it, which you'll never get no money on the back end. So you lost.
Took the advance.
But when they put it on their network, they're gonna make millions. I did a movie called Ice Grill a long, long time ago, bro. You cannot tell me that movie didn't sell 2 million copies.
Wow.
Easy. People, they sold it overseas, bro. This is when independent movies was first starting. I used to have people from different countries coming to me talking about Bronco.
Wow.
My man John Stu. And he never got rich off of it. They did though, the network did, but he never did.
Now that can also drive you away from the business too.
It does. Because it's like, what are you in it for? You understand? If you're gonna be doing this stuff to give it away, you know, then give it away. But if you think you're gonna be successful, it's hard.
It's more like just having something I always laugh about, being a mannequin in the store. It just looked good. It looked good that you got 10 movies on Tubi, but you're not, like you said, you're not making $1.
Yeah, a lot of them are not making no money on it. They, you think that they getting it, but they not really getting it. But like I said, it's all how you negotiate your deal too. But I just want us to do better at negotiations, so you can get paid your worth.
Right.
And that's what I always try to tell people.
Now, let me ask you this. Does that affect the actors that's in the movie, seeing they joint on Tubi and not really receiving anything from it?
I mean, not really,
Okay.
because
They already got theirs.
but not even that. Yeah, some people they take money up front, right? But look at it like this. It's giving you something tangible to shop to go do something else.
Okay.
So you could take something, an independent movie, and you can go for audition for a big movie, and you can use this to navigate through to get into the bigger rooms.
Okay.
But that's what got to be your mindset.
Goes back
But
to
if
your
you
mentality.
have the mindset of I'm just gonna do 1,000 Tubi movies, you understand what I'm saying? And you don't care, then that's all you ever gonna be.
It's basically, it's reality. Is how you wake up every day.
Yes.
It's you. It's the person. It's like going to 9 to 5, doing anything else. This is this what you gonna do. What we doing to get out of it? We may not get no money in the beginning, but we gonna get some results.
That's why I always tell people when they be like, "You an actor," I be like, "I'm really not an actor." You understand? Because if you look at these people that come from theater, like they're actors. You know what I'm saying? They can make you believe you are somebody that they're not. You understand that they're not. I can't do that. Me, you're gonna know that whatever I'm doing is part of me. You understand? Like I'm not gonna do anything that I'm uncomfortable with. And that's what I was saying to you before. Like I can't make you believe I'm a rapist. You know what I'm saying? I can't make you believe that I'm a gay person. I can't do it.
Can't.
So then they say, then you're not an actor, then I'm not an actor. You understand what I'm saying?
I just know the roles I need to play.
Yeah, I need to know what I'm gonna be comfortable with and that I can present the best form of who I am through those characters. You know what I'm saying? And who I could identify with.
And you know what? Honestly speaking, bro, having that mentality, man, you really betting on yourself.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like you willing to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this acting thing, but I'm gonna do it to a level where, listen, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I've left the game, came back in the game, but you remember the whole time I'm still a father. I'm still a family man. I still work. You know what I'm saying? So
But we don't, the hype don't see that.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? They just see all these multi-movies and think you just out here running around until, you know what I'm saying, they really get to know the man because, this is who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a dad. I'm a grandfather. I'm going to my
Fatherhood.
kids' game. You know what I mean?
Fatherhood.
Fatherhood. I'm doing all these. I'm active.
yes,
This comes first. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
yes.
And I'm blessed to be here after all the shit I've been through. So you don't even understand what it is to be a part of this right now. For me as a man.
I'm giving them something that wasn't given to me. My pops taught me how to survive, right? But I'm teaching my kids how to survive a different way. They don't have to go through all the trials and tribulations I went through. So I tell my kids, I did all the suffering for you. You know what I'm saying? I did all the failures for you. So all you gotta do is take this blueprint and run with it. I made the mistakes for you. You don't have to make the same mistakes.
Pretty much.
So I laid out the red carpet. All you gotta do is walk on it.
And whatever you thinking about doing, I done did it already. So before you think about why you thinking, come to me so I can let you know not to.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly, man, it's a blessing to see that. It's a blessing for you to still be here to be a part of that, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I just want to let you know again, man, I don't like to use the word proud, but I'm just so blessed to be sitting next to you today. I'm gonna say that.
Well, I'm gonna say we blessed to sit next to each other because guess what? There's a lot of people that's gone. You understand? And for us to still be here and doing something that we love is amazing. And all due to the Father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because listen, we did a lot of stuff that could have cost us our lives, many occasions, right? Could have taken everything away from us, but we still here for a reason.
And that reason, man, is only the reason that he knows. But I accept the reason.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for the reason. I'm grateful for every opportunity and part of it. Because like I told somebody a while ago, I said, listen, man, I don't really even get upset anymore, and I don't feel like life don't go the way I need to go. I feel like life is going in the direction that God is allowing it to go. I told God one thing, yo, I'm gonna let you lead.
Yes. And that's all you gotta do.
I done did it my way long enough.
Yeah.
Then look what happened. It always come running back.
Well,
So I
listen.
said it. Yo, I'm doing this really through you. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to direct it. And if I get off track, snatch me.
I'm just a passenger.
You know what I'm saying? So that, man, to see and to hear your story and your journey, man. No, man, it's nothing but salute, man. Just keep winning, man. And just keep standing on what you believe in, man. That's one thing I always admired about you. You always stood on what you believe, though. I ain't gonna front. You never gave this extra. Like even when you was in Teaneck, it was never I'm Brooklyn. Yo, I'm chilling. That's why I say it felt like you was there forever. Kid.
Yeah. Listen, I know where I come from. I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I know where I'm at. I adapt to whatever environment I'm in. I didn't have to be J from Brooklyn, JP from Brooklyn. You understand what I'm saying? I came and was Jay from Teaneck because that was my environment. Like it's funny because everybody used to go through the black door. I used to go out through the white door. I lived on the white side. I was on the Cedar Lane side.
Yeah.
You understand? So what was there for me to be, acting tough for? And at the end of the day, it's a different type of toughness. You understand? We came from the toughness of niggas dying. In Teaneck, they wasn't really dying. They was fighting. I'm gonna tell you this real quick, right? I remember the first time we had a talent show at Teaneck, right? And they was talking about, the kids from Patterson is about to come up here, Inglewood and Hackensack, and they was like, they're gonna come and try to, cause Teaneck is the pretty boy town, you know what I'm saying? So, and then they between Inglewood and Hackensack, and then there's the little rivalry, and then, so everybody used to come and try to act like they bully everybody from Teaneck. So I remember after the thing, they came out, yo, dude, I seen all these kids fighting. And I'm sitting there like, all right, somebody gonna get stabbed, somebody gonna get shot. That's where I come from, we don't see that. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that. Dude, you might get a punch and you get pop, 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 pop.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's not gonna be an all-out brawl.
They was an all-out brawl for like 15 minutes, bro. And I'm sitting outside like, no way. I was like, no way, bro. No way nobody ain't get shot and stabbed. You might see niggas get thrown to the bushes, you know what I'm saying? Thrown on top of cars, but nobody died. And I was just like, in disbelief, but I had a newfound respect for Jersey because I was like, they fight. I was like, back home, we ain't doing all that fighting, bro.
Somebody would have been laid out.
Yeah, you understand?
In about 8 minutes after the first punch was drawn.
Yeah, and if somebody get punched and they fall and they run, you better leave because he coming back and trying to take everybody's head off. So when I went to Jersey and I was like in this bubble, like I was just like, yo, this is surreal, like this is a different world, but it's so close.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It definitely is. You know, one thing I know is that you said that was a passion of yours was reading, bro.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of cats wouldn't understand that or think that about you, King.
Absolutely. You gotta educate yourself, bro. Because if you don't, who's gonna do it?
Brother, once again, man, I'm the voice of the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting next to my man, JP, man. And this was an honor to sit next to my guy, man. The growth, the opportunity, the blessing, the family. Yo, you're looking at greatness right there, man. You're looking at a legend, man. And I say that with all due respect. You're legend, King.
I appreciate it.
You're legend, bro. You carved out your lane and you wrote it. You went through and you was honest. It was a little choppy. Mm-hmm. That's what people need to understand and hear. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just glitz, glamour, and it was choppy. But I'm here now with a newfound love and a newfound passion. I'm extending my hand. Yo, it's the voice, man. Hush Boutique, West New York. My man, the legend.
My God.
We out of here. Y'all stay up.
You.
Yo, before we get out of here, let them know where they can find you at. Or I need to let them know. They need those that may watch this, man. They need to contact you, man.
So if you're trying to contact me, you can contact me on IG. It's IAMJAY Parris. I am J Parris, and it's the same thing on Facebook. I'm really on those two platforms. I'm on TikTok, but not really. But if you really want to get in contact with me, hit me on IG.
Yo, he's available. You know what I mean?
Always.
Check the resume. The credits is there. It's nothing to talk about. Like, let's tap in. Let's do what we do. Once again, I'm the voice. I'm out of here. Jay, the legend.
Peace.
Peace.